is WBZ TV Channel 4 in Boston. It's time now for the News at Noon with Jack Chase. Friday, May 21st, 1954. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jack Chase. The news. What's happening? The Washington, the month subcommittee opened readily yesterday to recall Army Secretary Robert T. Stevens' perennial witness at the McCarthy Army probe Monday. At the same time, it split sharply along party lines on the question of getting monitored telephone calls into the public record. Stevens recalled for the specific purpose, said temporary chairman Senator Carl Munt repeated under oath his own statement on Wednesday that the Army alone was responsible for bringing charges against the McCarthy side. Munt said Stevens will be subject to the cross-examination exclusively on the subject. That raised the possibility that Senator McCarthy may continue to contend that he cannot present his case in full if Stevens' testimony is limited by the presidential order banning disclosure of executive conferences. Senator McCarthy reiterated yesterday that the presidential director confronts him in his seat. William Cone and Francis Picard with a stuck deck. In Frankfort, Kentucky, G. David Shine, often called the best-known private in the Army, is a colonel in Kentucky, colonel that is, and sir, the key figure in the McCarthy Army world has been held that rank for more than a year. Shine was commissioned in an aide-de-camp with the rank and grade of the colonel of the staff of acting Governor Emerson Beauchamp on April 16, 1953, a few months before he was inducted in the Army as a private. Shine's commission was granted in response to the request from Secretary of State Charles K. O'Connell, who identified the New Yorker as a special friend. In Washington, Nicaragua raised the possibility yesterday of invoking Western Hemisphere mutual defense and anti-communist pacts against a well-conceived communist-type villain in Central America. In Geneva, behind the scenes and over in their table talks last night brought a slight hope that the communists might get down into the discussing the military details of the armistice in Indochina at a fourth restricted conference today. Premier Foreign Minister Chow En-lai for Communist China and Foreign Minister Vladimir Molotov for Russia were understood to have dropped hints to British Foreign Secretary Anthony Eden was caught between them for the West and the resumption of formal but semi-private talks. Today, the communists would not press for recognition of the phantom residence governments in Laos and Cambodia. The raid, it was suggested, would sidetrack the issue without abandoning it, but they did not agree that the political problems in Indochina should be completely separated from arranging the military armistice. Nor was there any signs from the eastern side in Tarday Sox in returning for postponing recognition of the resistance governments in Laos and Cambodia. The communists would agree to negotiate first on a separate armistice in Laos and Cambodia before proceeding in one to Vietnam. French Foreign Minister Georges Vidal has proposed the latter course on the ground that there was no civil war in two out of three associated states of the Indochina, and France is willing to withdraw its troops along with the communist-led Viet Minh rebel units under international supervision. In Washington, the United States is seeking to enlist international support for a request for the United Nations that it sends a peace observation commission to Southeast Asia that will report on whether to Indochina menaces where the war, international peace and security was learned last night. The United Nations mandate of clarification of moral issues involved in Indochina already has been laid down by Secretary of State Dulles as an indispensable condition for American and Allied intervention in the 7.5-year war. C. Douglas Still, American Ambassador to France, discussing an aspect of American policy with Maurice Schumann, French Secretary of State and Foreign Affairs, in their talks on the terms under which the United States would be considered joining an Allied intervention in Indochina.
You see it here, the funnel getting smaller.
Ex-Governor Joseph B. Eli was elected president of the American Wool Company yesterday in a surprise move by the directors of the cash-rich but business-poor firm. At the same time, the company announced to plan to call for a stockholders meeting on June 28th to ask for stockholder approval of the plan to acquire the assets of the management of the Buckman Uxbridge Worcester Corporation. If this merger were to take place, Eli would have to step down as president in favor of Harold J. Walter, currently president of Buckman Uxbridge. Eli, a director of the Council of the American Wool, succeeds Francis W. White, who recently resigned. Senator Leonard Southall discussed last night that the private industry, in agreement with the federal government, is finance an investigation of the possibilities of atomic propulsion for merchant ships. Speaking at the annual Maritime Day dinner at the Maritime Association Greater Boston, Chamber of Commerce at Hotel Bradford, he said the Navy is building two atomic submarines. It said, it seems reasonable to suppose tonight that should be built them otherwise that can do likewise. It would be fully not to match our merchant ship program to the capabilities of our enemies. I am pleased to say that the private shipbuilding industry has come forward with a voluntary plan under which it bearing all the costs as contracted with the United States government for a study of this problem, he said.
It has been called into action for search and rescue missions.
The mystery of the universe proves that not that all in
2011.
chaos, but that man is still in ruin. Dr. H.S. Burr, Yale University professor of anatomy, declared last night at the First Church in Boston. Addressed in a color quiz on a nature man held in the conjunction of 129th annual meeting of the American Unitarian Association. Air said, superficial thinkers believe that the rapid advance of knowledge and the scientific understanding of the world provides that only the laws of the probability that can be trusted. Many stumble into this belief because men look like themselves as the free agents free to do as they please without reference to authority. But their own desires and they found in chaos justification for their viewpoint. A vicious mass attack by club-wielding youths on members of the East Boston Grammar School basketball team preempted school department officials yesterday to consider closing the South End playground where the assault occurred. The 17 members of the John Jeffers team were stoned, slugged, and flogged by an estimated 70 teenage toughs armed with brass knuckles, garrison belts, and impoverished clubs.
It was a truck driver, they say,
during the Wednesday afternoon fracas at Carter Playground in Columbus Avenue. 11 of the boys suffered severe cuts and bruises as they had faced and back as they were forced to run a gauntlet of older stick-swinging assailants to the safety of the field clubhouse. 10 were able to report for class yesterday and were examined by the Trevor School doctor for possible additional injuries. A constitutional amendment provided about a 4-year term for the governor and other state constitutional officers and adopted yesterday by the Massachusetts House and the Senate and Joint Conventions. The vote to increase the tenure of the state officers from 2 to 4 years was 183 to 69. 3 women and 3 men lived with them in Greater Boston. The 5 people come from Greater Boston were arrested on conspiracy warrants by police last night.
And still plenty of questions in this case.
In a rapid roundup stage several hours after a Suffolk County grand jury returned the indictments against 7 alleged communists. Still being sought in that 7-person Daniel Boone Schreimer, 39 to 35, Basin Street, Roxbury, descendant of the Kentucky pioneer and a found member of the Communist Party of Massachusetts. But next door, in the same duplex, police arrested Otis Archer, who's 54 of 33 Basin Street, a self-admitted communist and chief leader of the Communist Party of Massachusetts for many years. Also arrested on the same lane. Put in charge of conspiracy were
to this home. An electrical transponder
Mrs.
exploding this morning in Canton. The power line
in Brock Dempsey 43 of 11 Robertson Street, Roxbury, once known as Red Flame, when he led demonstrated and distracted textile workers in the early Depression years.
to normal now.
Edith Abner, 33 of 41 Blue Hill Avenue in Roxbury, who allegedly has had various posts in the Communist Party.
Commuter rail crash.
Barbara Ann Bennett Rosencrantz, 31, Radcliffe graduate and former Roxbury resident, when was picked up at her home in Springfield. Herbert U. Zimmerman, 39, of 103 Harvard Street in Dorchester, named by her 40s as the literary editor for the Communist Party in New England.
3 people, including a police officer.
In Wayland, the school committee last night informed suspended elementary school teacher, 46-year-old Ann Hale Jr.
survived. It happened as a cruiser was
The charges against her and not the public hearing that she requested for the 7:30 p.m. June 8th in the high school. Miss Hale, a teacher here since 1940, has admitted past membership in the Communist Party to both the school committee and the Massachusetts Commission on Communism. She was suspended May 30 by the school committee and notified that at the time that the committee will vote on June 15 on whoever dismisses her from the town employment. Don Kent will have the weather after this commercial break. Norwood Arena on Route 1 Norwood. Stock car racing every Saturday night. Ted Cole, Teddy Phillips, a man at the Balney's Room at the Somerset Hotel in Boston. Ruby Rent-A-Car, world's largest search licensee of Motor Mart and Park Square in Boston. Famous for lobster, stuffed lobster at Anthony's Hawthorne at 95 Oxford Street in Lynn. Free parking.
With that same food services company.
Every Friday and Saturday night will be dancing couples only at the King Philip Club in Wentham.
On their own when they
Hugo's, Kimball's, famous seafood dinners on Route 3A in Class at 40525.
demoted. And the Bruins can move within
Dog racing tonight at the Wonderland and Revere New Clubhouse. Grandstand admission, 25 cents clubhouse admission, $1 free parking.
2-0, 3 and 4 game.
Jail doubles closes at 7:30 and race will start at 7:45.
Is 7:30 tonight.
Still had for you today a search after a college student.
Woo!
His
Woo,
weight
woo, woo, woo.
was
It's Bumbo,
his mother.
New England's own dog food. Now better than ever, every grocer has it, right? Woo, woo, woo.
Pet monkey.
Bumbo, New England's own dog food.
Before making a ruling on who gets